Sush, you want to stay? You want to go? You want to stay? You want to go? Look at those good-looking legs in those shorts. Hey folks, so I know that you've really been enjoying all of the Billy Strings videos I've been putting out lately, and by happenstance, I just got a transcription request from my friend Jacques in France, and he asked if I would do Billy Strings' Tennessee Stud, the fretboard journal version. And I told him that I would love to do that. Since you guys have been liking these videos, I asked him if it would be alright if we did a video that was sort of a transcription process video. He said he'd be into that. So everyone say thank you to Jacques for sponsoring this video and allowing me to share all of the work that I'm about to do with you guys. So before we get going, I do want to let you know that I can do transcriptions of any bluegrass breaks that you want. Basically, you go to my website, you go to the tab store, you scroll to the bottom, and there is a couple fields where you can fill out what you want, and we can make that happen. If you'd like to sponsor a YouTube video like Jacques, I would love to do that. And with that, I do want to point out that we have a second camera. Hey, look over here. Camera A, camera 2. So this is obviously my webcam. It's not super high quality, but we're going to be using it while I'm doing the transcription process just to save me some editing headache. So without further ado, right, let's do it. Alright, so I guess we should watch the YouTube video first. Let's see if we can get some information. So here we go. Here's the YouTube video, and let's just check that out. I haven't seen this in a long time, so... Woohoo! Looks like probably capo 3, right? Capo 3rd fret. It looks like he's in the key of D, and I'm not 100% confirmed, but I think he's in drop D as well. Okay, cool. So we already learned 3 really big things that are going to help us with this transcription. So let's get a capo. And I immediately rescind my drop D comment when I realize that he's not actually in drop D. Alright, cool. Let's continue. Alright, so now that we have all that basic information out of the way, we know how his guitar is tuned, what key he's playing out of, where he's capoed, we can start to transcribe this. Let's listen to the video again and let's get a sense of how this first phrase goes. Alright, cool. Let's take that. So we're looking at the first 8 seconds of the video right now. So immediately I'm going to take this and I'm going to slow it down and see if I can hear a little bit cleaner what he's doing. It sounds like the very beginning sequence. Just if I can take a guess, I think this helps my ear if I guess things before I hear them. It sounds like that. It sounds like a D sus2 chord. Alright, so I'm hearing this arpeggio going on right here. And then I'm hearing this strum. I don't know if that E was in there at the top. I don't recall hearing that. He's not really locked into a specific time signature, so we're gonna write this kind of loosely. Very impressive sounding, but it's likely quite easy to play. Sounds like that's what it is. Let's try to see if we can feel a pulse in there. I think it feels more like this, maybe. Like we have a 3-note pickup. I don't know, does anyone else feel that? That's what it feels like to me. Okay, cool. Let's see how he feels the next measure after that, so we can get through this weird part. This hanging 3rd fret right here, that's going to be tied over to the previous line. A lot of times I just trust my instinct, and even if my initial instinct is wrong, I'm not ashamed to go back and change it. There's nothing wrong with that. Once again, I'm not going to add in any bar lines because a lot of this is pretty free, and if I have to scoot things around, I want to be okay with it. Right, so there, this note doesn't exist. Da-do-da-ba-do. This is really just D minor pentatonic stuff. So if you want to think about that as D minor or D blues, that would make it the same as F major. That was a confusing theory to say, I'm sorry. Alright, I'm hearing him slide down there. Let's make sure that's true. Alright, so I heard that. I think I heard it twice. Let's go back and let's see if we can figure out how this measure works now. So it feels to me like this almost lasts like 3 beats, and then we get 2 eighth notes as a pickup. He doesn't come back in at exactly the same speed, but I think this is a safe thing to assume. Okay, so it sounds like there's an open A string right here. Now we're sliding from 3rd fret to 5th fret. He's doing the classic fiddle drone technique. Okay, cool. Let's count how long he does that. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. So it's on 2 and that he stops doing it. And it looks like he really is just alternating back and forth. Here we go. Let's look at that footage up close. Looks like he's just alternating between those 2 strings. See that? This would be 1 and 2 and. I think he hits that open D string twice right there at the end. So I'm seeing him do some more sort of classic moves. This is stuff that everyone does. If I had to teach it to you real quick, just to show you what's going on, you can see that in the key of D, A is our 5th, and so here's the flat 5th. So using this minor 3rd fret note and this flat 5th note, right, that's the kind of playing that we're seeing right now. So da 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 da. Okay, cool. Right, slide, minor 3rd, major 3rd. So I'm hearing some more classic moves, kind of a minor 3rd to major 3rd. Then this pull off, it's either 6 to 5 or the dominant 7th to 5 is something that happens a lot. It sort of recycles us back into the root. Alright, we got a train sound effect going in. Looks like he's just sliding up a kind of a normal D chord shape. You know, if I had to talk about that a certain way, right? If this is like D, he's sliding up to F, and this feels like the major flat 3 chord. But a much easier way to understand that chord is to think of it as a major center for like our minor blues scale, right? Because our minor blues scale that we've been using this whole time, if we looked at that from a major perspective, F. So for him to slide from D to F, he's putting out the relationship between these 2 things. One, this feels really minor blues, but up here feels like the major pentatonic scale. So it's a clever little linkage there. Alright, cool. So a lot of times when I reach passages like this where I have a bunch of 8th notes beamed together, I like to write them all as 8th notes, even though some of these could be quarter notes, like for instance this one could be quarter notes. But initially I like to write them as 8th notes because they help me sort of feel the time signature, or feel the time structure and know where I am. It's a little easier for my brain to parse than a bunch of random 8th notes and quarter notes off the beat. Right, so like in a passage like this, having all of these beamed differently actually really helps you feel where that pulse is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Just like I keep saying, I reserve the right to go back and and change any of the beaming or counting. This is nice when you're actually real close to their hands. I'm normally just listening, but it's nice if I can look too. I'm certainly not gonna look away. On beat 2, this comes in, and then this comes in. Okay, so I assume some of this next measure is gonna be a pickup. Okay, this sounds very familiar to a phrase that we wrote down earlier. Da 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 da. There it is. Okay, cool. So he almost does all of this exactly. Bam. Let's check that. Alright, now we get this it's this phrase right here that we wrote earlier. That also looks familiar, like something I wrote in the very beginning. Right, it's kind of like this phrase. Right? Crazy? It is indeed the same phrase again. It's a very common phrase, so. Cool, and then we got a slide from 1 to 2. This is a full 4 measures, which means that all of this nonsense should actually go on the next line. I'm gonna go ahead and do what I said earlier. So I'm gonna turn this into a half note. I'm gonna put a bird's eye on top of it. If you don't know what a bird's eye is, it's also called a fermata, but it looks like a little bird's eye up there. It just means to hold it out at your discretion. Standard practice is about twice as long as what's written, which is kind of close to what Billy does anyway, so we did fine. Also, a lot of times you see a little double bar line at the end of them, almost like this is a dramatic close to a section, and it is because right in this moment, it almost feels like Billy is implying an A chord. Just some really, really, rough implied chord changes that happen right there. Over here, we can say that maybe he's implying this real, rough kind of F chord might happen in there. And then in the next line, it feels like he's going back to a D chord, so let's put that in there too. Yeah, it feels like that slide should be over here in this measure. This is the old song and dance we've seen before. Okay, cool. So the time's not really working out right here, so I'm going to change this to an 8th note, and that kind of solves all of our problems. So this happens on a downbeat. That is definitely what he was feeling. Cool. So after that, he actually goes into Tennessee stud. So we can write this off as the end of this section for real. As you know, I always want the transcription and the timing to look as simple as possible. So I'll go back through some sections like these and I'll make some minor fixes. Now we have 1 line with 3 measures, which will look a little funky. All the rest will have 4, except for this little overhanging measure, which lets the section finish. Okay, cool. So it looks like we wrote the intro here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. All right, cool. I just finished transcribing that video a couple seconds ago. I'm going to give a quick interpretation of the intro that Billy does here. Of course, Billy's not locked into a specific, BPM or anything, so mine's going to come out way different. But why not try it anyway, right? That's not bad. Man, quick takes. So I fumbled a little bit. I definitely messed with some stuff, but that's all right. So another big thank you to my buddy Jacques for asking for this transcription and letting me share it with the rest of you. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you liked watching me figure it out. Like I said, I do still have some revisions to do, but that revised tab will appear on my website, probably in the advanced section, under Billy Strings Tennessee Stud. And with that, if you like taking a lesson from the biggest, baddest Billy Goat in the barnyard, please check out my website, Lessons with Marcel. Get this free tab. Get a bunch of other free tabs. Also check out the blogs. Check out all the tabs that we have for sale. And check out Jazz and Grass for a new bluegrass or jazz lick every single day. This is kind of a lazy one. This is an easy video. I'll see you next week for another bluegrass guitar video.
We ring them bells at the crossroads through the valley below. My love was running from town. That midnight train